Ladies and gentlemen, to the UMG Prime $2,500 4v4 variant, of course, taking place on January 5th. We're hopping into our first quarterfinal matchup of the night, taking place between ExoMoon and, of course, a familiar face in GGEA Orange. Of course, Jim, we just got to witness this group playing on our last series. We're actually able to take out the guys on Amity in a 2-1 fashion, actually winning CTF on this exact map of Arden Forest. Want to know your thoughts heading into this series? Of course, we got to watch ExoMoon play a little bit last night, and of course, we've got to watch the guys on GGEA Orange just play. What are your thoughts heading into Arden Forest as the first hill is already starting up?
Wow, ExoMoon are really on a roll already. Envader started off with a 2-piece, and now GorgoKnight is currently on a 3 streak. Let's keep an eye on him. He's going to be laying into cabin and just watching the cross here for Orange to get into this first hill. Just uncontested points here for ExoMoon currently in cave. 25 seconds remain. Finally, Orange are able to get a touch after kills from Believe and Mayhem after a pretty nice win against a midi that we just saw earlier. But of course, ExoMoon's another familiar face. If you guys were here to watch yesterday's tournament, they did get actually pretty far and face some tremendous teams, but now heading into the second hill, it looks like Orange have those early rotations.
They do indeed. It looks like Mayhem and Co. trying to make their way back. Is one battle that we can kind of talk about facing off throughout this entire series is, of course, GGEA Orange own Spoof and ExoMoon's Beehzy. Of course, these two guys played with each other back in the day on Lethal Gaming. Had a few decent runs when it came down to different tournaments, especially back in Black Ops 3 and beginnings of Infinite Warfare. As I said, both these players on their respective teams have kind of played alongside and had a little bit of a rivalry kind of going back and forth as to the reasoning why the team kind of split apart. I think it's fair to say most likely between those two. And they kind of battle out on different teams over the years and kind of over the last few seasons. It's always kind of been a battle as to who can kind of get the better of the other. As, of course, we get to witness one of those battles yet again happening. As right now, it is the boys on ExoMoon with a little bit of a lead, 52-19, as the last few seconds begin to tick away on Ruins. Their rotation, very important when it comes in a bunker. We talk about the importance of having spawns on this particular hardpoint. And it looks like Believe and Co. from the side of Orange do and are currently in favor of those spawns, as it looks like 2 get found through mid-map with Believe in the driver's seat. As his teammate Spoof's currently locking down the time. This is something that we were talking about in the last series, where they're facing off against Amity on St. Marie, is they did a great job at realizing the situation at hand when it comes down to the money hills, rotating early, and that was the reason why they didn't take in the first map. And it looks like they're back to their form yet again and rotating toward those money hills now on Arden Forest.
Yeah, Orange are nicely warmed up after, like you said, their previous hardpoints where they played extremely well. Now they have these bunker spawns locked down. Unfortunately, they were not able to maximize that much time on the Ruins. I think about maybe 10 or 20 points when ExoMoon were just kind of playing a contest battle. But here in the bunker, take a look at Envader and Cells coming from behind. Unfortunately, Envader goes down, but Cells is really trying to lock down these spawns. Unfortunately, Believe turns and burns onto that, and it's going to be a continuation of Orange stacking up the points. Now taking a lead here onto bunker, where 7 seconds remain. You're seeing both teams trying to focus here on East Road, where ExoMoon are currently in the advantage.
Indeed they are. When it comes into East Road, of course, this is going to be a nade fest hardpoint. Be looking at these yellow combat tradings, of course, standing for Hunker, trying to absorb those nades, trying to absorb the fire, maybe even some armored classes as well to try to weather those stuns. But regardless, hardpoint going to be pretty much a contest fest for the most part. As we kind of talk about, like I said, both of these teams. We almost talked about Spoofs, we talked about Beehzy, but Beehzy's teammate GorgoKnight. These two guys, at least from the series that I was able to watch and cast over ExoMoon, they kind of go hand in hand when it comes down to different game modes. It's really kind of been Beehzy and Cells who really dominate in the hard points for the most part, and it's GorgoKnight and Cells who really dominate in the search and destroy. So I'm really curious to see, of course, GorgoKnight for the most part is known as more of a search and destroy player, as you've seen a lot of teams start to kind of add the last kind of piece to their puzzle. You've even seen guys like Havoc Esports do the same in grabbing Baldy. I mean, we've seen kind of these core components of teams kind of grab an S&D player just to kind of complement themselves, and I've been really impressed with GorgoKnight's play. Of course, currently sitting at 11-11, highest kills on his team for the moment, but he's known as the objective man for this squad, and constantly can put up high numbers as well. I think he complements his team very, in a kind of a very solid way, because he can also get the kills necessary, but also kind of be having his foot in an objective quite a bit of the time as well.
And here into Cave, you can see this is where Orange really, or I think no, it was ExoMoon that got almost 50 points. This is the majority of their points were here on Cave, where Orange making the comeback onto East Road, holding the majority of the spawns for that one. But look at your kill feed. It's all in favor of ExoMoon. Complete team kill as Cells steps into the point, able to get maybe the last 30 seconds most likely. As you see, Orange are sending Believe over to Ruin's side to already collect the spawns and the early rotations there. He has an important engagement here against Envader, who actually wins that one. So you could see GGEA Orange are going to have the preferable spawns and also already set up here for Ruins, but they give up that pretty much 30 seconds of free time here to ExoMoon. So a very, very small lead for Orange, but we're going to have to see if they can extend it here on Ruins.
And the reason why they obviously have the slim lead that they do, granted obviously is a lead nonetheless, but has been due to these rotations. And this is the exact same thing that we saw them do when it came down to taking down that veteran squad in their first years in Hardpoint, was rotating correctly, not just to Money Hills, but to regular Hardpoints as well. To be kind of a younger team, of course, this entire group wasn't really known until maybe the later stages of Black Ops 3 Infinite Warfares when their names started to really get out there. But this is just a very kind of determined group, kind of a team that I know has been kind of on the radar for a lot of analysts, kind of casters, coaches as well, organizations obviously too, where a group like this to be very smart, kind of playing very knowledgeable, as Believe finds 3 there with the fighter pilot, to kind of find a young group like this who just has that veteranship kind of knowledge, the passive plays that kind of come along with them. It's a rare thing to find, and I think kind of all 4 of these guys sticking together and kind of having that continuous chemistry, that teamwork, really only is going to benefit them more and more. And I know the recent announcement of GGEA kind of coming into the COD space, now picking up Orange and Blue, of course 2 different rosters, kind of pick up the old Allegiance team, along with having TP, which we've talked about in the facility, kind of also being the coach for this roster, really is going to help these guys a lot. And I think kind of establishing this group early on as young players is going to absolutely make their, what could be future runs, future tournament brackets, their overall placements really start to succeed, is that early chemistry that they build. And I think it's fair to say that with an already, early tales of them starting to be very talented when it comes to Hardpoint, rotating correctly, kind of that veteranship knowledge, I think this group really has a lot of positives to themselves, and they obviously show it in a number of different tournaments exactly like this one.
Exactly, and in Ruins, if we do remember, I mean, most of the time there did go to Orange, but here into Bunker, they tried to rotate through the bottom of the map and were getting picked off, and ExoMoon have a wonderful setup here in Bunker and got the majority of time. They started with a 50-point deficit and now make it only 10, as Spoof was able to win an important engagement against Cells to retake the last couple seconds of scrap time here for Bunker, but that does mean into the next hill of East Road, they're going to be missing him for the first couple engagements. You can see your kill feed is all lighting up here for ExoMoon, who have now the preferable spawns, but okay, Believe in friends trying to answer back. This is going to be a huge fight between these 2 teams. They're going to separate the lead. Now Streaks coming in. That's Believe finding Cells, and GorgoKnight getting some trades as well, and a nice double.
Indeed, nice plays are coming in from GorgoKnight, 23 and 24 the squad at the most amount of objective time, but they're trying to release this man with the PPSH, as the SMGs can definitely be a handful when it comes into GGEA Orange. We saw what they were able to do on Armed Force and CTF. And obviously continuing to show their slaying dominance when it comes down to the subcategory. But they're trying to enter in back toward East Road. Nades coming, screens shaking. As it is a little bit of an advantage right now for the guys on GGEA, but that quickly could turn around. It looks like the last 10 seconds are going to go their way. Rotation in the back of everyone's mind here back toward Cave. As Spoof's being aware of such, calling the fighter pilot, give me 2, finds the 3rd onto Cells, and once the last one on GorgoKnight isn't able to find it, but at least has the knowledge being given toward his teammate, as that's a fantastic play to be used. But here come the opposite streak, still trying to do some damage. Those don't find anything, and I love this play from Spoof. Going to toss out the smoke, trying to limit the kind of points of view for the guys on ExoMoon, and he's going to kind of pull up this side peek toward that split through Catman, excuse me. But I love that play, kind of limiting the overall advantage of what should have been ExoMoon's opportunity to take him down, as they now have a pretty decent lead right now, 185 to 134, and they're not slowing down by any means, as Nova finds 3, Mayhem finds the 4th. If you're a fan of ExoMoon, you're starting to have a little bit of a worry, as the last 6 seconds will tick down. They're going to be closer to that 200-second mark, and if you're ExoMoon, you have to nail down this rotation.
Wow, that was a pretty much a complete 60-second hold out of Orange over on Cave. Even ExoMoon brought in streaks and were not able to kill Spoofs, who was inside the hill. And now even Spoofs went on a 5 streak. You saw Nova, who got a triple kill there. More streaks coming in from both sides. Can it cut down any players? Not going to be the triple that Spoofs had earlier, but nonetheless, Mayhem's going to be trying to stay alive in the hill. Finally goes down here. Actually, he was in the middle of calling streaks. So this is ExoMoon's chance to make a comeback, but they need to stay alive here into the hill and hopefully have a complete hold of the last 40 seconds as they gave up the full 60 over on Cave to GGEA Orange. So only 34 seconds remain here into Ruins, but you see GGEA Orange have that middle map and bottom control for next bunker. And look how many streaks have been calling in. There's airplanes every 5 seconds in the air.
There indeed is. It's just kind of a weathering the storm if you are the guys on ExoMoon at the moment. But coming around the corner, Spoofs, I believe, ends up taking out his own teammate Nova. Kind of unfortunate pistol shot to the head. But the rotation being made toward bunker, and if you are ExoMoon, this is your opportunity where you either bring this game back to a level playing field, or where this one could come to a close. Current spawn advantage and hill control in favor of GGEA. The man that you don't want to be lingering around right now is Spoofs, watching one side, Believe watching the other through that side cave, or through that side cut and backside cabin. And Spoofs is continuing to do work, finds two, Nova finds the third, and take a look at Spoofs' overall kill totals. He's firing some bullets yet again on players coming from cave. 36 and 23. He's tossing out those smokes to try and limit the vision of the ExoMoon players. And you can just kind of see the scatterness that smoke kind of provides as we start to see fire coming from Mayhem, the flank coming through, no callouts really being given from ExoMoon. They are just in a full-on struggle, and a lot of that has been to the smart kind of tactical usage. And with Spoofs going off like he is right now, finds two, and he wants the third here at the end. Can he find it on GorgoKnight? He will drop, but to no avail. He leads his team to a Game 1 victory as Ardent Forest will end out 250 to 168.
Oh, what a devastating score. And even the flamethrower coming out on bunker. What a wonderful hill to use that on. And the amount of streaks we saw that game, Spoofs 2 kills shy from dropping the 40 bomb. And also a minute and a half of hill time for him as well. So he's doing everything for the squad. And that's a huge scoreline, which at the middle of the game, it was only maybe 10 points at one point separated these two teams. And you saw the full hold onto Cave and then the full hold onto bunker. ExoMoon was trying to come back onto Ruins, but to no avail, as you did say, as we head into map number 2 of Search and Destroy London Docks. And let us know your predictions in the chat, but that's a pretty huge lead there for Orange. I don't know how this S&D is going to go.
Yeah, this makes this game kind of very interesting as far, or at least this series rather, because we talk about Ardent Forest that can really be a lot of the time a very submachine gun heavy kind of map, and for the guys on GGEA Orange, the two guys who rock those subs, the guys who are leading at the top. We see Spoof, of course, one of the main SMGs, finishes off with 38 kills. Mayhem, the second SMG in this group, finishes off with 34 and 24, so positive 10 for him as well. Two guys with the subs were kind of roaming around and doing whatever they please, and we talked about, I think it was you, Jen, who was kind of talking about how many fighter pilots were kind of coming in throughout the map. I mean, they were just making ExoMoon constantly struggle, along with the kind of fighter pilots coming through the airs, the smokes that were being tossed out. I love the strategy that we ended up seeing on, I think it was one of the second or third set of rotations inside a cave. Spoof just kind of tosses out the smoke in front of him just to be like, hey, you guys have to rush through the smoke to kind of kill me. They're going to be the ones at the disadvantage rather than me. And I just really like the plays that we were seeing from GGEA Orange, kind of pulling out some interesting strats. They obviously dominate when it comes down to the subs. They make the rotations. I mean, we were just seeing very clean Hardpoint kind of strategies and overall gameplay from the guys on GGEA Orange. And until someone can kind of maybe take an S&D or obviously a CTF off of them, which nearly happened in the last series, I mean, these guys are going to continue to dominate when it comes down to at least Hardpoint.
Yeah, like pretty much you hit everything. I think Orange were a lot better at using their streaks, and a lot of the time you saw Spoofs or whoever else on their team when they had the fighter pilot up, double or triple kills almost every single time. While on the other side, you saw ExoMoon had a couple streaks, but you really didn't see them on the kill feed that much, and especially getting the free glide bomb kill that should have been able to take Spoofs off of Cave when they had that full 60, was not able to get the kill. So could have maximized that a little bit better. At least they're able to get some information, but they could not answer back, especially after Cave. It kind of fell apart for ExoMoon when it was only a 10-second differential at one point. I don't know what happened to ExoMoon, but it kind of fell apart from there. But S&D will be loading up. We're heading into London Docks, where let us know your predictions. Can ExoMoon come back to this one? Can they keep the series alive, or are Orange going to walk away with another? Well, I guess it wasn't a 2-0 last time. They brought it to CTF last time, but Orange lost their S&D in this last one. So maybe this is a chance for ExoMoon.
And they also lost it on this exact map of London Dock. So this is a thing where it kind of brings in an interesting factor, because we talk about ExoMoon, the kind of S&D player to be looking out for this group is going to be GorgoKnight. This guy is going to be having the bomb in his hands, but he's also going to be the guy who has the potential to drop numbers. Him and Cells throughout a lot of their series and past and Search and Destroy tournaments and variant tournaments alike, those two are the guys to be looking out for. And you also see the kind of unorthodox little pull out of the Thompson there for GorgoKnight. That's also a weapon that he prefers to use when it comes down to Hardpoint and obviously Search and Destroy. But as he will be rocking the bomb, he's known for his first bloods, along with Invader's aggressive play into fire. Similar strats being brought out from ExoMoon in prior tournaments, and it works out for them yet again as a much-needed S&D to continue their tournaments up. We obviously saw this exact map, like I said, in that last series. The only map that the guys on GGEA Orange dropped. They obviously realized the situation at hand, as I believe Spoof does get picked off inside of 10 for that final kill as a successful early round victory for Exo.
Wow, and just taking a look at Envader, I know we were watching, I believe, Cells most of the time, but the Envader went through the middle of the map all the way to the back of Orange's spawn and was able to come up and I believe get at least 2 kills there.
Yeah.
Where it was a complete team wipe, and I believe Believe got a kill there for Orange, but that was a very, very quick offensive round here for ExoMoon. As we take a look at Orange, see what they can do on their shot. Mayhem gonna have the bomb in hand, and they want to go to B right away. Smoke's being exchanged over at Water, more as a bait situation. You can see the defense from ExoMoon pushed over at Water, so this is Mayhem's chance. Wins that gunfight against GorgoKnight. Now should be able to get this bomb plant, just has to keep an eye on mid.
And that was a really smart play coming in from the guys on GGEA Orange. They kind of forced their way through that mid-street. They realized that no one is sitting inside a closet, so Spoof is there to pick up the only player who is watching over at B and obviously make a smart play happen. But regardless, the kills after such are not going their way. A 2 versus 3 disadvantage right now for the offensive team. Invader coming from the top boxes might be spotted out. Big kill that needs to go down in his way, but no, Mayhem ends up dropping, and I believe left all by himself as in back-to-back rounds, 1v3 situations. Of course, 0 for 2 in that overall category. It will be Envader going for the defuse as we see the final 3 players alive have yet to die. A total of 8-0 after the first 2 rounds of play. Definitely continuing struggles right now for GGEA Orange on Search and Destroy and on this map exactly.
Yeah, Orange are reliving the nightmare all over again. They didn't even start out that bad against their previous match. I think they probably even took the advantage and then choked near the end. Nonetheless, 2 consecutive rounds, but also you got to start worrying about the streaks coming in from the side of ExoMoon if they're going to continue not dying. Nonetheless, this is the A will be the target here. So nades being exchanged, and you can see they're being extremely careful. However, they lose Invader extremely early, and now Cells into this offensive round, deciding to disengage. Gorgo might have to keep an eye here on mid because there's a flank coming through top, and that's Believe, and you got to keep an eye on him as well.
You do, of course, major disadvantage right now, along with being on offense. GorgoKnight and Beehzy have a pretty tall task, but it's really going to need to come at this 3rd kill in the round. GorgoKnight welcomes Spoof to the line site, tries to peek back around, but that'll be his final resting place on those beer steps, as I believe the 4th will fall quickly, as all players from GGEA Orange do stay alive. And I think the reason why we see them win that particular round kind of comes actually from the first blood. That one happens on Invader. In the last offensive round, of course, just 2 rounds ago in round number 1, the reason why we see ExoMoon win that particular round is, of course, GorgoKnight is able to make his way into the A bomb site, a strategy that they tried to implement yet again. However, as Invader tries to rush in toward middle fire, what ends up happening is I believe it was Believe or Mayhem who ends up taking him out for the first blood and ends up kind of ruining his streak and that push that could have made something happen. But it looks like we do have a host issue, maybe ending the game for whatever reason. We'll obviously try to get word as to what is kind of taking place as far as the round count and how things are progressing. But I'm going to write down in my notes that it is obviously 2-1 in favor currently of the guys on ExoMoon, as hopefully you guys are obviously doing the same at home, maybe kind of keeping some notes, who knows. But regardless, though, I think what we can take, at least after the first 3 rounds of play, was that GGEA Orange start to get some momentum toward the end of that last round. Of course, kind of able to keep all 4 players alive. But for the most part, ExoMoon's early strats, you have to be aware of guys like Cells, GorgoKnight, the guy with the bomb in hand. But that early rush from Invader is going to happen every single time on offense. But the thing is that where is he going to be coming from is the question. Is he going to be coming through mid? Is he going to be rushing along with GorgoKnight onto A? Is he making an underground push into B? I mean, that's going to be the guy who, once they shut down Invader for the first blood, that's when they can kind of really focus on their defense, because he's going to be the guy either in the face or obviously in the back.
No, exactly. And finally, Orange able to answer back. I mean, it was kind of a scary start there. ExoMoon starting 2-0, and also a lot of players that didn't die. And after that, all those players that were on streaks got completely ended there into that last round. So Orange winning that defense, meaning in the next round, it will be Orange onto the offense and ExoMoon onto the defense, as we're not really sure why they restarted, but we can sort of fill in the time while we do wait. Where GorgoKnight did start 0-3, and Mayhem started 0-2, so not the greatest performances. As you did highlight the best players, I guess we got to keep an eye on who needs to improve throughout this match, where we're still waiting for the players to restart. But hopefully Orange are not reliving this nightmare. They did lose this London Docks against the previous team that we did see, so
back, ladies and gentlemen, of course, back here for some London Docks, heading in toward what is currently round number 4, as after the restart, it is ExoMoon who find themselves up 2-1 in this current map number 2 on London Docks. As far as the overall series count is considered, if you missed map number 1, it was a victory on Arden Forest for GGEA Orange as they closed that one out 250 to 168. And now ball currently in the advantage, or kind of ball in possession of ExoMoon as they try to bring this one back to a level playing field as a current 3-on-3 in this round. And I believe could definitely play spoils right now, picking off one just toward those side stairs. Is able to make that one happen. Also potentially finding the second, but no, Beehzy is there. So a 2 versus 2 now turned into a 1 versus 2. Beehzy tries to come through mid-cut. That's exactly where he will fall. There's a nice responding round coming in from the guys on GGEA.
Yeah, GGEA Orange evening things up 2-2 apiece now after being done, or down 2-1 after that quick little reset. As even though Orange got first blood there, I think it was Mayhem going in big for the team, and then kind of things getting out of hand, sorry, as it got down to 2-1. Nonetheless, it's going to be ExoMoon back onto the offense, giving that bomb to GorgoKnight. You could see this push here towards the water side and using smokes to cut off this mid-entryway and the water side. But look how far Spoofs will be pushed up here on water, as Mayhem unfortunately gets the team kill, at least also gets the kill onto Cells, where Gorgo is looking to get this bomb down onto water, going to the other side here of the building. That Spoof's coming around and getting that kill into Envader. Can Gorgo get the trade?
1 versus 3, spots the corner and actually does stick Spoofs in the situation, so realizes the kill is solidified. And now going for a challenge on a head glitch to believe, most likely having some type of assault rifle to meet him in the face, as that will be the case, bar in hand. And GGEA Orange winning the first 2 rounds, of course, off the restart. They're now up 3 rounds to 2, but in general, we do see that early team kill come in from Mayhem, as most likely that team kill coming through has got to be a surprising factor. Not really aware that that smoke was going to be coming in and that fast rush was going to be coming up quickly after that. But you also see the success, a constant A push being made from ExoMoon on their offense. It seems they can't not force the issue or the bomb onto A, as it could be a revealing stat line if you are the guys on GGEA Orange, that hey, these guys are kind of a one-trick pony. They're only doing one thing. Surely we can stop them if they keep rushing to the same bomb site, as it obviously has worked in the overall round total. As Mayhem off the break takes out GorgoKnight. B bomb site is open, and the reason why is because Mayhem is doing the work necessary on a 3 spree. Finding one on the flank is Cells, but does get tagged up. But at the same time, Envader finds one also. Maybe the aggression a little bit too early to be playing around. As a near turn on, I believe Cells was there for the pickup. I thought that it was a jump kind of 360, but 1v1 Believe versus Cells, and Believe is on the flank. Most likely Cells not going to be aware that this push is happening as long as GGEA Orange does stay alive. They aren't going to secure this round. Cells obviously realizes that, hey, this one most likely not going my way. Tries to hop behind the bomb, and it does get taken out.
Oh my god, I thought we were going to relive that nightmare of the ninja defuse that we saw exactly like this on London Docks. The bomb was playing on the other side, and the player was mid-map. This is exactly what happened yesterday, but the defuse did not go through. But also got to keep in mind that Mayhem got first and second blood. So, like, that came down to a 1 versus 1, and really at the end, that defuse was just an inch away from going through. Nonetheless, that's so many unanswered rounds here for Orange. I think that's 4 in total if you count the one from the reset as well. So technically it is 4-2 in favor here of Orange, as trades going back and forth already. It's only a 3 versus 2 after the smoke clears. GGEA Orange in the advantage. And
I remember this exact map with this exact roster of ExoMoon when they rush toward B. Beehzy always for some reason just has that kind of pre-nade down, and you like to imagine why aren't they kind of forcing the objective onto the site a high majority of the time. as losing 3 straight rounds, of course, off the reset. As you just mentioned, Jen, 4-2 advantage overall for the guys on GGEA, as this is a huge swing round. If you are the guys on ExoMoon, picks needed to be found, as it looks like Beehzy is there for the trade, finding both Mayhem and Believe, but needs to find the ace after finding the first blood, actually. And has his teammate Spoofs waiting at the end of the ADS, but isn't able to find it, as it now will be 5 rounds to 2 in favor of GGEA. As only 1 more round needed to close out this series, in fact, Jen. It's already happened this quick, as 4 rounds off the restart. The guys on the orange squad are obviously feeling pretty confident.
Well, yeah, I mean, Orange also took the hard point, 250 to 168. So if they do take now this next round, they will be moving forward into our bracket. And this is insane. 5 consecutive rounds. What is happening to ExoMoon? They are completely falling apart, kind of similar to how that hard point went. Nonetheless, nades being exchanged back and forth. You could see this offense from GGEA Orange having their sights set here on B, but they have not pushed anybody up. Mayhem's not being crazy aggressive as he usually is, but he's going to have Envader right around this corner. But Streak's being called in. Now, is it going to pick up any kills? And it does. Picks up cells. First and second blood here in favor of Orange.
Indeed. 3rd kill found as Beehzy last alive. And just trying to desperately force another round to play it. Currently using Mountain, so that Fighter Pilot, no information gained, but Believe is going to be here for the pickup. And just like that, 5 rounds in a row after the reset, as it will be the boys on GGEA Orange who close out this S&D 6 rounds to 2, and overall a hot 2-0 in this series. As we kind of reflect when it comes down to this S&D, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty disappointed in the guys of ExoMoon. I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that they really didn't kind of come out of that restart with a little bit of a fire underneath them, because we were talking about their offensive hits. You know, what they like to do on London Docks is a lot of the time kind of force the bomb toward the A site. A lot of the times Invader's kind of up in your face, Cells kind of roaming around the map with Beehzy, and it's GorgoKnight with the bomb in hand who's just trying to get something done. But it's almost like I said, they were like a one-trick pony. They really couldn't do anything else other than in a push, and then once GGEA starts to realize that that is the same thing over and over and over again, that's when obviously the guys on ExoMoon are okay. They started to realize our strategy. Let's kind of go back toward B. They start to make some good momentum happen, some good plays happen here and there, but generally they just can't get the work done. So I am a little bit disappointed in the overall kind of kill totals. I believe GorgoKnight only finishes off, I think, with like 1 kill after the replay. And he's the guy who's the objective man for this roster. And I was thinking in my head throughout the a lot of this S&D is the fact that, you know, usually, at least in my opinion, GorgoKnight is one of the more dominant search and destroy players on this lineup, and you're giving him the bomb. I think it's either a matter of he was kind of filled into that role. Of course, he kind of plays it in Hardpoint, so we're not doing search and destroy. But if you're ExoMoon, right, you have Beehzy, who has the assault rifle most of the time. He's going to be the guy who's lining things up along with Cells. Invader can't really grab the bomb either because he's the guy who's finding those first blood. So if he dies, it's like the bomb's in the enemy spawn. So it's not really a worthy exchange with the bomb to kind of be placed in an awkward position. So I think ExoMoon kind of finds themselves right now in an awkward spot in search and destroy. As far as like who gets the bomb, it's going to be GorgoKnight, but they can't really do a whole lot. If they're losing rounds, they kind of find themselves in an awkward point of view where they don't really know what to do because they keep forcing toward the same bomb site because it worked for their comp. But I think the reason why the comp isn't really working out for them is because I don't think the players are in the correct roles that they should be in S&D, and I think that's the reason why we see them kind of force too much toward a bomb site, and the reason why they're not really well practiced on A and B when it comes into London Dock. So I think this team can be really good when it comes into S&D, but right now I think it's their kind of playbook is being revealed too easily, and the guys on GGEA Orange, who obviously just played this exact map, have obviously learned from their mistakes. They're feeling a lot better on this exactly, and obviously win this one after the restart. 5 rounds in a row for a reason, and dominate their way to a map number 2 victory at winning this one 6-2.
It was actually funny. I just pulled out one of my pages, and I think ExoMoon also lost their S&D versus Evil Within on London Docks yesterday.
Okay.
So it's kind of a nightmare scenario for ExoMoon.
That was the round 11 you talked about. Yeah, okay.
Even though Orange lost their London Docks versus the team that just went on now, ExoMoon lost the same map yesterday, so it's kind of like the least favorable map for both these teams. But also ExoMoon getting caught with sort of their pants down, having Mayhem come through the middle map and Storm and getting first and second blood a few of these rounds. He was playing extremely aggressive and then changing up his playstyle and playing extremely passive. So ExoMoon having a hard time really adapting to that and really only picking up the first and second rounds, so they were looking really hot, and then lost 6 straight rounds. So not sure what happened to them or if it was really just Orange switching things up and adapting.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously kind of an awkward placement that we had to see kind of in the search and destroy. But as far as the Hardpoint is considered, I mean, that was kind of, like I said, another kind of stomping overall. That one finishes off 250 to 168. But really throughout Arden Forest, it was a matter of the subs kind of being able to do whatever they wanted. Spoof, I think you might have said it, ends off with like 38, 39 kills around that margin.
Oh, yeah.
Plays incredibly strong.
Kills.
And I believe it was Mayhem, who's the other sub player, finishes up with 34 kills. So it just goes to show in London Docks, Arden Forest, kind of the up close and personal maps, kind of the ones that are kind of constantly in your face. Those two guys are definitely factors to be dealing with when it comes down to those PPSHs quite a bit of the time. And if you're not able to respond, at least in that category, let alone are you going to be able to kind of handle them when it comes down to the assault rifles as well. So I think generally, as the maps do progress, if GGEA, apologies, kind of getting used to it, kind of a difficult name to say, but if they continually to dominate in Hardpoint, they start to kind of nail things down and search and destroy. I mean, like I said, they're obviously in a training facility. They've got TP behind them, most likely kind of giving them the coaching, the strategy. This is a really solid group, and I know I was talking about it through their Hardpoints, but you can kind of see in different moments kind of teams like this that you like to kind of be I don't want to say like babysitted together, but like groups who kind of over time develop and as pro players kind of learn as a team rather than separately. That's a very tender thing to kind of see. That's a very respectful thing to see as well, is to see a group like this who already plays and has the mindset of veterans together like this, who dominate in Hardpoint, obviously do work in Search and Destroy and CTF alike, plus also have the fantastic backing of a player like TP, of course, multiple-time champion, world champion as well. I mean, this team just has a number of different positives with it, and I only see them going up from here.
Exactly, and GGEA Orange will move up into the bracket after the hot 2-0, and of course they did have the CTF last time, but here they ended in a 2-0 to face the winner of GRV, which is Animal's team, the key player from that squad, and Armada, the winner of GRV versus Armada, and Armada is Bryant Saint's team. So we'll update you guys on the results of that, but you should also put bracket into the chat and you'll be able to actually watch the bracket go as well. Not sure if that will be our next match we're going to spectate, but also surprising, earlier in the bracket, E United won versus Luminosity, and they're making their way through the bracket as well. I would not be surprised if E United did end up in the grand finals. I think they're currently against Orglis, which is Havoc, BL Fire, Mosh, and Legal's team. So we'll have to see what the winner of E United versus Orglis, which will be waiting in the grand finals for, or actually not in the finals, probably the semis actually, for whoever ends up there.
Definitely. A lot of solid teams kind of remaining. I know we started to see some early battles kind of coming in, and I think it was LG who versus Zodiac, and then in round 3 we see United versus LG as well. Some really top teams kind of competing, obviously, in tonight's tournament. Of course, the $2,500 UMG 44 Prime variant here, obviously, here on January 5th.